Hi, my name is Brianna. Welcome to your practice today. Today's practice will be facilitated on the floor, standing. You're welcome to engage in this practice by listening, watching, moving along, or moving in a way that feels most accessible to you today. So to begin your practice, you might begin to bring some movement into your feet. So one way you might do this could be to lift your toes and lower them. So maybe lifting your toes and then lowering them back down. A possibility here, if you're choosing to lift and lower your toes, might be maybe when your toes are lifted, to spread them as you lay them back down. So maybe lifting, possibly spreading your toes, maybe lowering them back down. And from here, you might begin to bring additional movement into your feet. One way you could do that could be by rocking onto your toes and maybe lifting your heels. So you could, if you'd like, you might lift your heels. Another option might be to combine lifting and lowering your toes and your heels. So maybe rocking motion. And you might notice that the amount that you lift your toes or your heels or the amount that you rock is up to you. You might explore this movement of lifting, lowering, or rocking for 3, maybe 2, possibly 1. And in your own time, whenever you're ready, you can bring yourself back to center. So center could be just a neutral position for you, maybe whatever form you sort of started your practice in, and that could look different for you than it does for me, and that's okay. So from here, you might begin to bring movement into your knees or just into, your legs in general. So one way you could do that might be to bend and straighten your knees. It's possible that you notice the amount that you bend is up to you. Possibly noticing that the speed at which you move is your choice. And if you'd like, if you are choosing to bend and straighten your knees, you might choose then to add in your arms. So one way you could do this might be to bend your knees and possibly hold in some sort of squatted position and maybe lifting your arms up. Another option here could be bringing movement. So maybe as you straighten your legs, your arms are down. Possibly when you bend, they lift. Or maybe you do it the opposite way if you'd like to link those two. It's your choice to explore maybe different options. So maybe holding or moving for 3, maybe 2, perhaps 1. And in your own time, and whenever you're ready, feel free to come back to a center position or center form. From here, if you'd like to continue exploring movement in your legs, one way might be to bring one leg out in front of you, sort of making a triangle position or triangle shape with your legs. And from here, an option could be to hinge at your waist, forward. And if you're choosing to lean your torso forward, you might notice sensation in the back of your front leg. You might also not notice any sensation at all. There's no right or wrong way to feel. And the amount that you bend at your waist and bring your torso toward the leg or the floor is up to you. If you'd like, you could bring your hands toward the floor or maybe resting them on your leg. Maybe hinging forward if you're choosing to do so, possibly continuing upright. And in your own time, whenever you're ready, if you did choose to hinge forward, possibly bringing your torso upright, maybe stepping your foot back toward the other foot that was behind you, and maybe doing that on the other side. So with your opposite leg, maybe stepping it forward, any amount that you choose, creating somewhat of a triangle shape with your legs. And you might choose to continue with your torso upright. Another option could be to lean your torso forward. Maybe keeping your hands on your hips, maybe bringing them onto your leg or toward the floor. And you might notice that you're choosing to do something different on this side than you did with the other side. Totally up to you. Maybe you notice sensation in the backs of your legs or somewhere else in your body. Whenever you're ready, if you are choosing to bring your torso forward, you might choose to now bring it back upright and maybe stepping your foot back toward your back leg. Maybe doing any kind of little movements here, sort of shaking it off if you'd like. And from here, maybe bringing some movement into the side of your body. So one way you could do this might be to bring one hand toward the outside of your leg and slide it along your leg down toward the floor. And an option with your other hand and arm could be maybe to rest your hand on the opposite hip. Another option could be to bring that hand over your body toward the bent side of your body. And if you're choosing this side bend, you might notice sensation in your back. You're welcome to continue some sort of movement here, whether it's by bending and maybe straightening your body. You can also choose to hold in a bent form or maybe a more upright form, your choice. And whichever form you're choosing, you might continue to explore for 3, maybe 2, possibly 1. And in your own time, bring yourself back to center. And if you'd like, you can try that on the opposite side. So maybe bringing your opposite hand toward the outside of your leg on that side, possibly sliding your hand down your leg, kind of moving it along your leg maybe. If you'd like, resting your hand on your opposite hip or choosing to raise that hand overhead. You can reach toward the ceiling if you'd like. You might choose to reach toward the opposite wall of that hand. It's your choice. So maybe staying in stillness as an option. Another option could be to add movement into this side bend if you're choosing that side bend. Possibly moving or staying in stillness for maybe 3, possibly 2, perhaps for 1. And in your own time, you can bring yourself back to center. From here, maybe you'd like to try some movement in your shoulders. So one way you could do that might be to bring your hands to your shoulders and maybe make some circles with your elbows. So you might choose to bring your hands to your shoulders and make circles with your elbows. Another option could be to have your arms out and making circles with your arms out straight. Maybe you're moving in one direction if you're choosing this movement. And in your own time, if you'd like, you can continue in that direction. If you want to switch directions, that's your choice. Maybe if you're choosing the shoulder movement, you notice sensation possibly in your shoulders, maybe somewhere else in your body. So possibly moving for 3, maybe 2, perhaps 1. Coming back to center whenever you're ready. All right, and from here you might choose to bring some movement into your neck. So one way you could do that might be to bring one ear toward the shoulder on that side. You might notice that how close or far your ear is from your shoulder is up to you. And if you're choosing to find movement in your neck, you might choose to add a little breath. So maybe adding some breath to either your inhale, exhale, both, or neither. It's your choice. And in your own time, if you'd like, you could switch sides. So maybe bringing the opposite ear toward the shoulder on that side. Maybe adding a little breath if you'd like. And if you're choosing movement in your neck, another option could be to combine these two. So maybe bringing your ear to one shoulder and then the opposite ear to the other. If you'd like to go back and forth, that's up to you. The other option could be to stay in stillness, if you'd like. Maybe finding movement in your neck for 3, perhaps 2, and possibly 1. And in your own time, you can bring yourself back to center. And from here, as you start to transition out of your practice, you might find some sort of form that feels more restful to you. So in a standing practice, it's up to you if you want to sit on the floor or lay down or remain standing or in movement. So just taking a few moments to find a form that's more restful for you. You're welcome to keep your eyes open or close your eyes. But in this resting form, I'm going to stop talking for 1 minute. I'll keep the time as best as I can. And after that minute's up, I'll go ahead and bring you back, and you can transition out of your practice to the rest of your day. So we'll begin that minute of silence right now. In your own time, you might begin to bring some movement. If you're in stillness, you might begin to bring some movement into your hands or your feet, maybe by wiggling your fingers or your toes. And if you had chosen to close your eyes, feel free to open them if you'd like to come out of this rest form. And from here, we'll transition out. So maybe acknowledging anything that came up for you today in your body, your mind, or your emotions. Just noticing that anything that came up for you it's all welcome. It's all okay. And it all makes sense. All right, so we'll wrap up here. I hope you have a good rest of your day wherever you're at, and I will see you next time. Bye.